Share ko lang na makulay yung childhood ko. Lahat ng naiisip niyo na matataas na plot points, sunog, hold up, aksidente, crime, natutukan ng baril, lahat naranasan ko ng bata ko. Kulang na lang siguro, pag teleserye na kulang na lang kung nakidnap ako or pinagpalit ako sa ospital ng bata ako. But then, when talking about my childhood or when writing about my childhood, hindi ko to kinikwento. Instead, yung mga sinusulat ko, kung paano ako unang nagka-crush, kung paano ako hindi pinapansin ng crush ko, kung paano nag-away kami ng best friend ko, paano ako na-bully, diba? So parang the secret sa pagsulat ng effective is not to write about events, but to write about emotions. Ano yung naramdaman mo? Ano yung pinagdaanan mo? Kasi pag nagsulat ka lang ng about events na, pag sinabi kong natutukan ako ng baril, na-hold up ako, so parang, ano naman ngayon, marami namang na-hold up at natututukan ng baril, yung iba nga namamatay pa, di ba? Pero pag nagsulat kang, hindi ako pinansin ng crush ko. Pag nagsulat ka tungkol sa unrequited love, ang dami makaka-relate. Ang daming emotions na kinukut-kut mo sa mga nagbabasa. And kung iisipin mo din na unrequited love, hindi lang siya about unrequited love eh. Lahat tayo, meron tayong something na gustong makuha na hindi natin nakukuha. Kung nagsulat ako, kasi kung familiar kayo with my books, yung mga sinusulat ko, puro mga hugot. Diba? Unrequited love, forbidden love, the one that got away. Pero kung iisipin mo yung the one that got away, hindi lang siya tungkol sa the one that got away mo, kundi it could be an opportunity, a dream job na napakawalan mo, di ba? Parang ganun. So, I think yung secret sa pagsusulat is emotions. Yung makaka-relate lahat. Sabi ko nga nung nag-speech ako sa National Book Award, nung nanalo yung Buti pa ang Roma, May Bagong Papa, sabi ko, sinong mag-aakala na isang libro tungkol sa pakwan, pechay at ampalaya, mananalo ng National Book Awards, diba? Kasi kung kinikwento ko lang doon, paano paghanap ng perfect shoes, pero i-relate mo siya doon sa naghahanap ka ng perfect na love life or perfect na diba? Or tungkol sa nail polish na tawag na to, na nawawala na yung kulay, pwede ka magsimula ulit. So kumbaga, hindi mo kailangan maging malalim, na hindi mo kailangan kung ano yung gusto mong isulat. Yun yung isulat mo. Share ko lang, nung bata ako, ang gusto ko lang talaga, I'm sure lahat, kayo ba dito gusto niya maging writer? Mga students, gusto niya maging writer. Diba parang lahat tayo, I think, sa pagiging writer, gusto nating magkwento. Meron tayong kwento inside us. We all have a story to tell na gusto nating ipaalam, ilabas sa buong mundo, diba? Nung bata ako, ang dream ko lang naman makita yung pangalan ko sa, ganun kababaw, makita yung pangalan ko sa TV, makita yung pangalan ko sa libro. Nag-college ako sa UP, mga kaklase ko ang gagaling nila. Yung mga teachers ko, sila yung mga Butch Dalisay, Cristina Hidalgo, Jimmy Abad, diba? So parang mga wow, mga big names. Tapos yung mga kaklase ko noon, Alvin Papa, Gang Badoy, mga, diba? So, ako, na galing Davao, probinsyana, nanliliit, tsaka parang sinabi din sa akin noon, first day ng class, sinabi ng teacher sa amin na kapag nakakuha ka ng grade na 2.75, kasi ang pinakamataas na 1, kapag nakakuha ka ng grade ng 2.75 or below, kapag nakakuha ka ng grade na 2 below sa creative writing, mag-shift ka na ng course kasi writing is not for you. Ang grade ko kay Cristina Hidalgo, kung ito ba siya? Cristina Pantoja Hidalgo, 2.75. Konti na lang pasang-awa kasi 3 yung passing grade. Pero hindi ako na-dishearten. Patuloy pa rin akong naging writer. Nag-creative writing. Tapos nang gumraduate ako, nag-apply ako sa ABS, na-reject ako. Nag-apply ako sa Summit, hindi ako tinanggap. Ang dami kong in-applyan na hindi ako tinanggap. Pero, kung iisipin mo, bawat rejection naman may dahilan. Na, kaya ako hindi natanggap dito kasi hindi pa ako ready. Kasi right now, looking back, lahat ng rejections, lahat ng mga hindi ko nakuha before, nakuha ko ngayon. I mean, binigay sa akin ngayon at the right time. So, ang secret lang dyan is, nobody can tell you na hindi ka pwedeng maging writer. Ikaw lang naman kasi magde-define kung anong klaseng writer ka, kahit sabihin ng mga tao. Nung first job ko, bago ako naging writer, ang dami kong trabaho. Nagbenta ako ng bahay at lupa. Ang dami, parang nagsulat ako naging writer ako, technical manual yung sinulat ko, kaya hindi ko naiintindihan. Kasi di ba, sino ba nagbabasa ng manual sa atin? Wala, di ba? So, kumbaga, tas finally naging senior writer ako, yung may editor ako na napaka-cruel, na sinasabi, napaka-sophomoric na writing mo, hindi ka magaling, you're a disgrace to UP, yung ganon. So parang lahat ng yon, nung una ininda ko, pero isipin mo na lang yun nga, hindi naman nila alam kung ano yung kwentong meron kay. Diba? We all have a story to tell. Sinong magkukwento nun? Kundi tayo rin lang. Diba? So, yun. That's the secret to an effective writing, emotions. Pangalawa, huwag kang magpabibo sa pagsusulat. Huwag kang gumamit ng mga big words, mga highfalutin words to impress your readers. Kasi makikita nila na ay gumamit na ng thesaurus, ay nag-control, ano yun? Yung sa word, diba? Nag-search ng ganon. Right from the heart. Kasi kung iisipin nyo nga, kung nababasa nyo yung mga libro ko, ang bababaw niya, na relatable, easy read, pero after mong mabasa, may iniiwan sa inyong emotions. Itong Goodbye Girl, it's about heartaches, heartbreak. Sabi nung isang kaibigan ko, bakit ganon? Happily married ako, masaya ako sa asawa ko, bakit ako naiiyak? Kasi meron, yung Goodbye Girl, yung breakups, hindi lang naman siya tungkol sa literal na breakup. Kasi pwede siyang rejection, pwede siyang moving home, leaving home, diba? Parang ganon. So, ang formal, ang tahimik, hindi ako sanay. Hindi ako sanay. Oo. Yun, I think, lahat naman kasi, wala akong masabing, ito yung dapat maging gawin para maging writer ka. Kasi, kwento mo, ano yung gusto mong ikwento? Kung gusto mo magkwento tungkol sa kawalan mo ng love life, or sa pagiging goodbye girl mo, or okay lang. Kung gusto mo magkwento tungkol sa pagta-travel mo, okay lang din yan. Gusto mo magkwento about politics, okay lang yan. Kanya-kanyang tayo ng kwento. We all have a story to tell, and the way you tell it, kasi is, yun yung nagmamatter na, hindi pwede kasi may nagsabi sa akin sa isang talk, naglapit na, wala na ako makwento, lahat kasi naisulat na, hindi totoo yun. Kahit naman nasulat na yan ng ilang beses, kasi nakailang sulat ba tayo tungkol sa breakups? Nakailang sulat tayo tungkol sa travel, di ba? May kanya-kanya experiences tayo So, yun lang yung masasabi ko. Sorry kung medyo disoriented maaga pa. Pero mamaya may question and answer. So, kung may tanong kayo about being a writer, anong tips, anong ganon, pwede namin sagutin. So, yun lang. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Noreen Capili. Now we are going to give the floor now to Ms. May Paner. And we would like to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Pam Pastor.
Hello, magandang umaga sa inyo. Hello. Ayan. Nung sumakay ako ng taxi, tapos sabi sa akin nung driver, alam mo may sumakay sa akin bakla Baklang babae. Sabi ko, ha? Anong baklang babae? Kasi ang ganda-ganda niya, ang haba ng buhok. Paganda, sinong kamukha? Si Mama Mary. Oh, talaga? Sabi niya. Tapos sabi niya, ano nga ako, ma'am, tinake home ako nun Tinake home ka? Talaga? Oo, ma'am, Diyos me. Nung hinahawakan ako, grabe yung kamay, ang laki. Talaga, parang kamay ni Manny Pacquiao, ma'am. Sabi sa akin. Si Mama Mary na may pambansang kamao, sabi ko. Okay yung kombinasyon na yun sabi ko. Tapos sabi niya ganyan sa akin, oo ma'am, binigyan nga ako ng 700 Talaga? Tinanggap mo 700? Oo naman ma'am, ang hirap ng buhay, no? Yun, sandali lang, mabait naman. Dinala ako sa bahay niya. O yun, nagdo kami. 700, dagdag sa ekonomiya, sabi sa akin. Sabi ko, ang ganda naman ng kwento mo. So kung ginawa ko yung kwento na yon, kinwento ko rin. Muna sa Facebook. Nung nasa Facebook nga, sabi nila, ang ganda naman ng kwentong to, nakita naman ng Anvil. Huy, May, gawin mo ng libro yan. Sabi ko, teka muna, hindi pa ako handa. Sabi kong ganon. Kasi ang alam ko, nagsishare lang naman ako ng kwento ng iba. Tapos, dahil katsikahan nila ako, minsan nare-relax dahil syempre, babiro din ako, maloko. So, may isa pa nagsabi sa akin naman, nasakyan ko, babae. Uy, sabi ko, uy ate, kakatuwa ka naman. Ay, oo ma'am, naku, kilala ko po kayo. Talaga? Ako naman kinikilig, syempre kilala niya ako, no? Oo ma'am, sabi niya. Alam niyo ma'am, ako engineer. Kaya lang, na-lay off ako, kaya nag-isip ako, mag-driver muna. Talaga? From engineer to driver. Okay ka rin, te? Oo ma'am, ang hirap kasi ng buhay eh. Yung anak ko nga, iniwanan ko muna sa kapitbahay. Sa kapitbahay, sabi ko, wala ka bang yaya? Ma'am, ang hirap nga ng buhay, hindi ko kayang magbayad ng monthly. Yung kapitbahay ko naman mabait, nagbibigay na lang ako. So, ang lungkot naman ng storya mo. Oo ma'am, kasi ma'am, alam niyo, ginugulpi ako ng asawa ko. Ha? Ginugulpi ka? Oo ma'am. Kaya nga ako natatakot eh, kasi ayokong malaman ng asawa ko kung nasaan ako, kasi baka kunin, kasi medyo may kaya yung pamilya nila. Sabi ko, talaga? Grabe naman ang story mo. Oo, Day. So, kinwento ko na naman yung kwento niya. Yung kwento ko yun, ang kwento niya, na-share ko. Pag-share ko, sabi sa akin, naku, ma'am, nagtumawag sa akin, Miss Juana. Hindi ko alam kung matutuwa ako na kinwento niyo ko o hindi. Sabi niya, bakit? Eh, kasi ma'am, sabi niya ganyan, kasi nasabi rin niya pa na wala siyang trabaho. Ako naman nag-intermitted nawala ng trabaho. Naku ma'am, alam mo ninyo, ang dami tumatawag sa akin, bibigyan ako ng trabaho. O bakit ka nalulungkot? Eh kasi din bang baka dahil nalaman nila, mahanap ako ng asawa ko. OMG, naipahamak ba kita, te? Sabi niya, siguro ma'am, pagka gagawin mo to, kailangan may panindigan ka na rin. Sabi niya, ganun, so okay lang, hindi ka galit sa akin. Eh ma'am, kung magkakatrabaho naman ako, in fact, ma'am, sa totoo lang, umandar ata yung kaso ko kasi naikwento niyo ako. Kasi yung dating tutulog kong kaso sa Regional Trial Court, bigla akong nagkaroon ng papel. Sabi nila, ano na daw, o aandar na. Sabi ko, di mabuti, te. O di bongga. Oo, ma'am, pero syempre, nakakakaba. Kasi ma'am, baka ang maging kapalit dito, may trabaho ko, makuha yung anak ko. Sabi ko, naku, sana naman hindi. Well, so far to this day naman, yung anak niya nasa kanya, may trabaho na siya ulit at engineer na. So I think yung kwento na yon na nangasa kong ikwento, nanganganak na dadagdagan. But of course, syempre, parang ang feeling ko nung una, bakit ako magsusulat ng libro? Okay na yung magkukwento ko, pero yung sabihin mo sa akin, gagawin ko yung libro, utang na loob. Alam nyo kasi hindi naman ako talaga mahusay na writer. Alam nyo, ang mga best friend ko, sina Rodi Vera at sina Moira lang. Kung kilala nyo sila, highest level sila ng pagiging writer. I mean, multiple lang ka-awardee. Si Rodi Vera nga, nung binigyan ng award yun, saradong Ateneo, walang pasok. Sabi ko, Diyos ko, Lord, yun ang best friend ko, walang pasok sa Ateneo nung binibigyan siya ng award. Tapos si Moira lang naman, napaka-prolific na writer noon. So sa tabi nila, parang hiyang-hiya ako, ayaw ko nga sabihin, Rodi, ano mo ba, ang Anvil, gagawin daw libro yung mga kwento ko. Abate, say sa akin. O anong problema mo? Siyempre naman, best friend kita, hiyang-hiya naman ako. Sabi kong ganun sa kanya. Te, ba't ka mahihiya, no? Ikaw nga naging writer, naging author ka. Oo nga, biruin mo May Paner. Author. Wow! Ang sabi sa tenga nun, author ako, te. Hindi ko naman pinangarap yan. Hindi ka lang author, May. May kakaiba pang maganda sa'yo. Ikaw ay published author. Hindi pala lahat ng author na pa-publish. Hindi ba, say, ang sabi ko talaga, Ara girl. Di ba? Taray ng lola nyo. So, ang sinasabi ko, I mean, yung storya nung iba, nagamit ko, nahiram ko, para mapagyaman yung story. But syempre, nung una, natatakot ako, na-insecure ako, kasi hindi ako mag-Tagalog na nga, hindi ko pa alam ang spelling eh. Hindi ko alam kung kailan nang na NG, o kaya nang na NANG. Sabi ko, fucker, kailan ba yun? Sabi sa akin ni Moira, pagka daw ang katabi, noun at saka something, NG daw yun. Pagka adverb ba, NANG. Di alam ko na, nung sinusulat ko, ano nga yung ano ba to, hindi ko pa rin maisip. Sabi ko, teka muna, pag inisip ko lahat nung hindi ko kaya, baka ako matakot na. Anyway, may editor naman sila sa Anvil, di ba? Siguro pag sinunod ito, makukorek spelling ko. So, dinedma ko na muna. Because nga, ang ganda nung mga storya na nakukuha ko sa aking pagsakay ng taxi, di sabi ko, might as well write about them. Kasi alam nyo talaga ang mga driver, grabe sila, lagi silang may opinion, lagi silang nasa radyo, di ba? 24/7, tuwing nagmamaneho, alam nilang opinion ng mga senador, nila Ted Filon, na kahit sino, di ba? And therefore, napagyayaman sila. Tapos, street smart sila. Marami sa kanila, meron nung isang taxi driver, nagalit kay Chris Aquino. Sabi ko, kuya, bakit ano kasama ng hugot mo? Kasi naman, ma'am, 15 taong na akong taxi driver. Alam niyo ba, ma'am, napakalaki para sa akin na ngayon magkakaroon na ako ng sarili kong kotse dahil sa Uber. Wow! Ikaw na driver, magkakaroon na sariling kotse. Oo, ma'am. In fact, darating dapat ngayon. Ewan ko may nangyari bukas na daw. Wow, congratulations, kuya! Say ko naman. Oo, ma'am, tuwang-tuwa ko. Kaya lang, lecheng ito sila Chris Aquino. Bumili daw ng 300 na pirasong Uber. Totoo ba yan, kuya? Hindi, ma'am, yun ang balita eh. Silang mga mayayaman, sabing ganun, mayaman na nga sila. Pati ba naman tong taxi, papatulang pa nila? Di syempre, pag marami ng taxi, ano naman ang labang ko na ang taxi ko iisa lang? Di hihirap na kayo ng pagkuha ng mga pasahero. Bakit naman pinapayagan, ma'am, ng Uber yan? Sana naman awatin na nila, i-prioritize yung mga katulad namin, na paisa-isa lang kung bumili. Sabi ko, oo nga naman, ano? Tanginang mga yan, Sabi ko, Duterte lang, di ba? Umumura. Sabi ko, di ba? Oo nga naman. So anyway, di ba ang ganda ng mga storya? May isa naman doon, gun runner. Gun runner siya sa Davao. Nasa Manila na siya. Siyempre, nasakyan ko. O kuya, ano ng storya mo? Ma'am, gun runner ako eh. Sabi ni Duterte sa akin, nung nandun pa ako sa Davao, ano mamili ka? Bibigyan kita ng one-way ticket papunta ng Maynila. O bukas sa bangkerohan ka. Di syempre ma'am, pinili ko na yung one-way ticket. Kaya eto na ako ngayon. Sabi ko mag-election na, siniboboto mo, Duterte. Anong masasabi mo sa ganung klaseng driver, di ba? Papatayin siya, ipinatapon siya. So ang tingin niya, ang second least ng kanyang life ay salamat kay Duterte. Meron naman, galit na galit kay Duterte. Ayaw naman nila, ma'am naman, di naman po pwede yung siga-siga ka. And all of these stories have enriched me. Diba? Kasi yung karga nilang storya, pag dinugtong ko sa akin at naisulat ko, mas kumakapal pa siya. And sabi ko nga, ang galing, parang, siguro kung pumayag lang ako na nai-insecure ako, nahihiya ako sa mga best friend ko, siguro hindi niyo ako kaharap ngayon. Pero dahil nagkaroon ako ng oportunidad, sabi ko, papangasin ko na to. Papangasin ko na to, tsaka kung bumili kayo ng libro, inad ko, sabi ko, 175 lang libro ko. Kung meron akong 30%, meron akong, magkano ba sa isang libro, mahina ako sa math. Okay na yun. Ang hirap pa rin bumenta ng libro, kala ko magiging bestseller ako, hindi naman. Bili kayo para katulad nitong katabi ko si Norin, maraming bumibili. Kasi yun, sa akin, pang-ekonomiya rin. Di ba, hindi na masama, lalo lang kayo kung maging mahusay kayong mga writer. Di ba? Sino ba yung writer ng mga iba na ngayon milyon-milyon ng kopya ang nabebenta? Sabi ko nga, ibang karga ninyo. Wala nang makakaagaw ng storya ninyo. Kasi kahit na pareho kami ng story ni Norin, pareho kami walang papa, pero ibang take niya na wala siyang papa, ibang take ko. Di ba? At saka ang daming Ako nga gusto kong magkwento tungkol sa mga bilbil ko eh. Baka may magandang storya dyan. Di ba? Kasi sabi nga ng iba, May, magtago ka ng pandesal sa bilbil mo, di makikita. Lagi pang mainit. Sabi ko, hindi ba? Oo nga, Sabi ko, minsan gagawa ko ng libro yan. Pampainit ng pandesal, bilbil. Di ba? So sabi ko nga, ang daming istorya, ang daming pwedeng ikwento, pwedeng inyo, pwedeng sa iba. Pero ang importante, sumagot tayo sa tawag. Kasi kung eto na nga oportunidad, iisipin nyo lahat, hindi kayo marunong mag-spelling, nakakahiya, baka hindi bumenta, lahat yan, manggagaling kayo sa takot. But if you want to do something, never come from fear. Never. Di ba? Kasi if you will come from fear, wala kayong magagawa. So, if there is an idea that you want to put out in the world, pero syempre, dagdagan nyo na rin ng konting ng konting, kasi in my case, for example, kaya ako natutuwa doon sa mga storya, kasi, lalo na siguro kilala nyo naman ako na isa akong political activist, ako'y mahilig mang-away sa mga taong mga corrupt, di ba? So sa akin, I also want to bring out stories that will make us connect to each other. Di ba? Kasi pag naintindihan nyo, pag nabasa yung libro ko, ganito ba talagang buhay ng driver? Ay, ganito pala, no, pwede pala sa pagsusulat mo, makakatulong ko sa iba kasi nagkakaroon ng trabaho yung iba pag na-announce mo. O pwede rin pala na ilalagay mo sila sa peligro. Then you also become more responsible. Diba? So napakasarap ng feeling na dahil sa pagsulat mo, meron kang nababagong kamalayan. Kasi sa akin napakahalaga, in fact, yung aking advocacy, ang feeling ko, ang problema natin nasa kamalayan. Diba? Kasi kung ang kamalayan mo, wala kang pakialam sa kapwa mo, wala kang pakialam sa mga nakaupo, hindi mo naman sila pinupuna. I mean, parang you live for yourself, di para ka lang nagmamasturbate nun, diba? Para ka lang sa sarili mo. But I'd like to think that we are here, I mean, because we really want to make connections. Diba? And what a great way yung storytelling to make connections. And so, who of you here wants to be authors? Raise your hand. Huwag kayong mahiya. Aminan na. Oh, hindi ba? Naku, si Shirley, nagpasign siya sa akin kanina ng libro. Gusto pala niyang maging author. Naku, Shirley, aabangan ko ang libro mo. No, so I hope those people of you who've raised your hands will really start to write your first book because you do not know. Malay nyo, next year, a few years from now, you will be up here and you will be inspiring others to write. So, yun lang. Maraming salamat. Good morning.
Okay. Hi. Okay. I always thought I would end up writing fiction kasi I was that girl na like as a kid, mas gusto kong nagbabasa kaysa kumakausap sa mga tao. Like I'd stay up all night reading, as in kahit binipit-pit ako ng magulang ko sa parties, nasa isang sulok lang ako, laging may libro. So fiction talaga, because that's what I was reading. I find that often people who want to become writers end up wanting to write the things that they read the most. Pero sobrang sama ng fiction ko. So like for the first how many years of my life writing, I was only writing for myself in notebooks, walang nakakabasa. Kahit yung mga school paper, I never wrote for any of them. And the only person reading my work was my mom. So I'd give her my notebook, tapos she'd read it. Tapos sabihin niya after, anak, may problema ba? Kasi lahat ng stories ko, isa lang yung ending, namamatay lahat ng tao. Tapos yung mga kamatayan nila malala, mga nagpapakamatay sa phone, pinaparinig niya sa mga taong nagpapakamatay. Basta ganun, or merong parang sobrang truck driver na may nasagasaan na lola, tapos akala niya, tapos yung lola na rape pala. Basta mga ganun, parang oh my God. Basta, as in, parang, imbes na ma-proud yung mom ko na nagsusulat ako, she was disturbed kasi parang, anong problema nitong batang to? Bakit ganyan yung utak niya? So I realized, I guess, early on, parang okay, hindi para sa'yo ang fiction. Plus, growing up, because a lot of you are writers, I'm sure you hear the same thing over and over, hindi mo pwedeng gawing karierang writer, walang pera dyan, magugutom ka, yan ang maririnig mo all your life. So, sabi ko, okay, so hindi pala pwede. So sige, maglo-lawyer na lang ako. But I loved writing so much that all the time, like I was thinking, sige, even if I become a lawyer, on the side, I'll be writing. Nandun, parang magiging passion project na lang siya. But then again, magugulat ka because life can surprise you in so many ways. And what happened to me was, by accident, journalism found me. I can't even say na I found journalism kasi parang that's too, ang kapal na mukha ko if I say that. But it's really, baliktad. Journalism found me. I was already in college. I was a freshman. I found an ad in Inquirer. They were looking for student correspondents. And since makapal mukha ko, malakas yung loob, kahit never nga ako nag-work for any student publication, I submitted my application and malalaman nyo kung gaano katanda kasi fax pa yung submission, no? Hindi pa email. Tapos, yung first assignment ko, dumating pa siya by snail mail, di ba? So, ang galing. And yung first assignment ko was a survey on virginity. And at that time, I was 17. Sabi ko, perfect, expert ako dyan. So, yun, that was my first assignment and I never stopped. And I ended up falling in love with it, na I decided to abandon all my dreams of becoming a lawyer. But later on, I realized even that dream of becoming a lawyer was still related to the love for storytelling, because the kind of lawyer I wanted to be was a criminal lawyer, and I wanted to piece together crimes for people to make the right judgment about them. Ganon. So parang, I guess siguro people are born storytellers, kasi nung bata rin ako, yung mga tito ko, lagi nila sinasabi, paglaki mo siguro magiging radio announcer kasi ayaw mo tumigil magsalita eh. So siguro yun na nga, that was my destiny, to tell stories. But the thing is, we can't always decide on the kind of writing we want. Like kagaya ko, pangarap ko fiction, pero hindi pala talaga. And sometimes you just have to let it happen to you. Like with me, I would say na journalism nga, it happened to me by accident. And I would be lying if I tell you that I've loved every story I've written for the paper. By now, I'm pretty sure nasa thousands na siya, or 1,000 something sa dami over the years. Hindi mo mamahalin lahat ng stories mo, especially if it's part of the daily grind. Like we've had the chance to, because Inquirer runs advanced writing workshops. And in one of the sessions, we had a lot of corporate writers. And when you're doing writing that doesn't give you the freedom to be creative or to have fun, medyo parang it's hard to love everything that you're writing, diba? Like lalo na yun nga kung technical writing or like mga office memos, mga ganyan. Parang paano mo naman mamahalin yun? So, tas na-realize ko na it's really up to us to take care of our souls as writers. Kasi nobody else is gonna do that for us. I remember when si Eugene Domingo was finally getting the attention and the roles na she deserves as an actress, one of the things she said in one of my interviews with her was yung the way she chooses projects. Pipili siya ng, sige, mainstream. Tapos pipili siya ng next project for her soul. Which is the same thing. Like for you as writers, whether you're already doing it professionally or you're starting out, you have to find ways to feed your soul. And again, it's really about you kasi nobody else will do it for you. Even if you're working and you have a boss, parang writing is such a personal experience na talagang at the end of the day, it's just you and your computer or you and your pen. So nasa sayo. And the beautiful thing about having that passion for writing in this age is nandyan na yung, may ready audience ka na eh. Yung mga Facebook friends mo, nandyan na. Or the people who follow you on Twitter, Instagram, they're there. So kunyari you spent the entire day writing corporate crap na you don't really care about. Then when you get home, write the stories that you want, even if it's just for the people who follow you on Facebook. Like, look at what happened to me, diba? What started as her taxi stories na she posts on Facebook eventually led to books, and they are great stories. And that's one thing that I loved hearing from both of them because I feel the same way. Everyone has stories to tell. There are stories everywhere talaga, and it's really just a matter of spotting them. When Anvil sent us the invitation for this panel, I started asking myself, kasi yung parang niya is writing about what you love and sharing it with the world. Ako, pero what do I love writing about? Because for me, it's always been the process that I've been in love with. Tapos, it took me a long time. Kagabi ko lang na-realize finally, so the thing I love writing about the most are the weird things that happen to me. And siguro I'm lucky and also unlucky at the same time because a lot of weird things happen to me. So it will take a while talaga for you to figure out what kind of writing you want to do, and sometimes it takes years and sometimes it continues. Like I've been writing for Inquirer for 18 years now, pero I feel like hindi pa rin talaga tapos yung growth, yung journey mo. Like you still continue to discover yourself as a writer more and more. And it's also parang for me bigger than finding what you want to write, what you love to write about. It's more important to find things that you love or things that you are passionate about. Kasi yun it's the things yung passions mo, it's your loves, your interests. These are the things that will give your writing depth. These are the things that will set your writing apart from the writing of other people. Kasi parang lahat ng susulatin mo, dun manggagaling. Whether, it doesn't matter what your passion is. Basta if it's something that you care deeply about, lalabas yun in your writing. And even for you, you would realize that the process is more pleasurable if it's something that you're actually interested in, diba? Like, as someone who has to constantly write about things that I'm not really that into, but I have to because it's one of my assignments for work, ganyan. But it's really important to find the things that you really care about. And wait lang. And embrace your discoveries. Like, last week, I did an email interview with I think a journalism student from Miriam. And for the first time ever na tinanong sa akin na parang how do you balance the need for privacy para sa journalist. Tapos ako, first time sa akin tinanong, pero perfect na sa akin itanong kasi because I realized a lot of my colleagues, like they've been there for years, but they are very careful about revealing too much about themselves. Like they would write reportage talaga, features, pero they would rarely write personal pieces. Ako, baliktad. Wala akong fear na magsulat about personal stuff, and sometimes it's too much na umaabot sa nag-aaway kami ng nanay ko dahil sa mga pinagsusulat ko, pero it's part of the job. But yun din you will figure out, like ako ba yung writer na willing mag-reveal ng personal stuff, or am I the writer na parang who disappears behind the page and puts the focus on other people instead? Ganon. And I feel like in my case, parang that willingness to be open na develop siya because of the many years of blogging that I did when I was much younger and a lot more stupid. Which is why tinago ko na yung blog dahil my God, nakakahiya talaga. Pero in a way, parang it developed my voice and it let me, yun na nga, like open myself up to people and to having people know like the mga insane and like boring details about your life. And it helped me kasi for a while, my books were the first one especially, it was unintentionally funny. Ang nangyari when I submitted my manuscript to Anvil, it was a lot thicker than it came out finally. And then sila Miss Annie explained that, we took out the parts that were a little too serious because it doesn't fit the tone of the book. Tapos ako, may tone pala yung book. hindi ko siya plinano. Parang hindi ko alam, funny pala siya dapat. So hindi ko alam. So, and then I would start getting messages from people na, your books made me laugh while I was on my commute or after a long day at work. Tawa ko ng tawa, mukha akong baliw. Tapos, that made me feel really good. Pero at the same time kasi, I started asking myself, ito na ba yung kind of writing na gusto ko? Kasi parang pag nakakita ka ng mga ibang nagsusulat na may advocacy, parang shit, nakakahiya, diba? Parang puro katarantaduhan yung sinusulat ko. Ginamit ng nanay ko yung vibrator ko sa mukha niya. Parang anong nagawa nun sa mundo, diba? Parang, and then last year, parang again, when things happen nga, and you let them happen, but realize parang okay, you just, as a writer, I guess you learn to embrace the strangeness that happens to you because it gives you more to write about. So last year, parang feeling ko, okay, finally yata nahanap ko na yung destiny ko na isulat na bukod dun sa mga kalokohan that I really enjoy writing about anyway. But I feel like, okay, this is the part that will give me naman more meaning as a writer. In December, it's hard for people to believe kasi nga baliw ako on a normal day, like baliw in a good way, like funny nga, ganyan. In November, I was hit with depression and it came out of nowhere, as in walang trigger. And walang naniniwala sa akin walang trigger. Nag-break up ka, no, mga ganyan. Wala talagang trigger, as in, so that was the scariest part. But I knew from the start, it took me a couple of weeks before I realized, okay, something's wrong with me, I need to go to a doctor. But I knew from that time on na whatever happens to me, I am going to document it. I am going to be vocal about it. I'm going to talk about it because I feel like mental health is something that we don't talk about enough. And So that's what I did. But I couldn't in the beginning because hindi pa alam ng family ko. And I didn't want them to find out through Facebook. So I said, sige, wag muna. And then I waited until I told them. And then I started writing about it. I put up a blog. And then it's good too that I work with an editor who encourages me, like when she heard about it, she said, oh, start writing about it. So I've written a few stories on my journey and my battle with depression. And dun mo marirealize na how powerful writing and words are. Because on the very first day na I put something up about it, grabe talaga, in every imaginable way, people reached out to me. Text, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook message, email. And all these people are just people within my circle who have been quietly battling mental illness or whose husbands or girlfriends or basta like have people close to them who are going through the same thing. But everybody's been silent about it because nakakahiya, matatawag kang baliw, nag-iinarte, gano'n. So, parang, it's really something big, like as a writer, to realize just the kind of power, like with me, imagine na it can alter lives. Like yun, a person na nawala ng job, biglang ina-offer na job because of your words, or somebody feeling less alone because of your words. It's really, parang, I sound so crazy, but it's so magical. Para as writers, we're so lucky that we are able to have that effect and we can make a difference with just our words, and you can do the same thing as well. But also, there's also the question of timing and deciding, gusto ko yung untold stories na, because I feel like we all still have so many untold stories, and untold stories are exciting because there are so many possibilities. Last year, after our panel in this very same room, I met a bunch of people, and then after, one of them sent me a Facebook message. How come you never write about your love life? Tapos, and I haven't, kasi natuto nga ako sa katangahan ko nung bata pa ako. So I haven't done it in almost 10 years. But I do have stories that are waiting. Siguro pag wala na akong mga masyashock na magulang at pag mga 60 na siguro ako. Because I don't think the world is ready for my thoughts on love and sex and all those things. But I love that there are so many possibilities that are waiting for us. We all have untold stories. And the timing. I remember when I was reading Ruth Reichel's books, she was the food critic of the New York Times for a really long time, pero sobrang galing ng mga memoir niya. And bilib ako sobra sa honesty, like she was writing about affairs, and these are people who are still alive and who are hotshots in the food community. And she's writing about her affairs with them in a really honest way. And then I realized, oh my God, kasi she's in her 60s. Parang kung 60s na ako, hindi pa ako ganun katapang. Parang wag na ako magsulat. And even si David Sedaris says, like, there are things na nangyari na sa'yo now, but it takes you longer to write about them. Kasi sometimes there are things na you need to take a step away from. So you see it a lot more clearly. So I have stories that I'm excited to write, pero eventually, muna. Like now, my editor has been hounding me. She wants me to write about how my family has reacted to my tattoos. And kakakalma lang sa bahay. So parang hindi pa panahon. Kasi I feel like if I write about it now, maaalala ulit ng nanay ko tsaka ng lola ko na marami akong tattoo. So parang wag muna. Siguro maybe next month. Ganyan. So it's really, after all this rambling, what I really just want you to know is you all have stories inside you. You all have stories around you. And it's really a matter of finding them and then making the time to actually sit down and write them. Yun yung biggest thing. You can't be a writer unless you write. So many people say, I want to be a writer, pero kailan ba yung last time na umupo ka talaga at nagsulat? 'Di ba? Pwede mong sabihin for 10 years na gusto ko maging writer, pero unless upo ka talaga, tutukan mo at magsulat, you will not become one. And time's up na daw. So there. Masunurin ako. Sige, okay. Yun, so, but we're ready for your questions, so we'll have more time to talk about writing.
Okay, so, thank you again, speakers. Let's give them another round of applause.
Good morning. My name is Reggie, and this question is addressed to all the members of the panel. Ms. Pastor specifically mentioned, or rather reminded us about the power of the written word. Writing by itself, storytelling, rests upon the bedrock of also telling the truth. Where do you find the courage to speak your truths?
Thank you for your question. Any panelist may go first.
Where do I find the courage to speak the truth? Ako kasi di ba si Wanna Change? Do you know me as Wanna Change? Okay, so ako bilang Wanna Change, ako talaga, yun yung isa sa mga advocacies ko, di ba? To speak truth to power, di ba? But when I write, hindi naman ako talaga ganun ka tapang. But kung saan ko hinuhugot yung truth ko, kasi siguro yun din yung parang bedrock ng pagkatao ko. And yung truth na yon, in fact, lagi ko yung kina-question. Kasi di ba yung truth, nakaka-tense yan eh. Kasi yung truth na ma-manipulate mo, yung truth na ibang interpretasyon, di ba? Yung no to Marcos Burial, ang truth, hero siya pag si Marcos ang kausap mo, di ba? Pag ako ang tanungin mo, hindi siya hero. So, sinong may hawak ng truth, di ba? But when you ask me kung saan ako humuhugot ng truth, syempre it comes from my whole set of values, from my whole parang fiber as a person, and yung truth na pangahawakan ko while pwede niyong i-contest. Diba? Dahil usually naman ganun tayo, diba? Woo! Paniwala ka dyan. Yung sasabi ng totoo yan, diba? Care mo. Pag ako nagkukwento, truth ko to. Di gawa ka ng sarili mong kwento, truth mo yun. Diba? So, yung where I draw it from, is yun na nga. From my own stories, from my own, yung aking upbringing, paano ko pinalaki, paano ko naging critical sa aking pag-iisip, paano akong nakikinig sa opinion ng iba at tinetest ko to versus my own set of beliefs. Diba? And then from there, I draw my own conclusions, and then what comes out of my mouth, diba, is my truth. So kung saan yun ang galing, I guess, sa ano ko na rin, sa sarili kong, from the cellular level of my tinatawag mong pagkatao. Well, but whatever, truth. Matagal ko nang inaano yung truth na yan, di ba? So, did I answer your question? In a way, salamat. At least humaging, di ba? O sige, kayo naman.
My mentor, Direk Joey Reyes, once said that media can show you what is real, but not what is true. So, gaya ng sabi ni Miss May, gaya na sinabi ni May, paggalang po yung Miss. It's your truth eh, diba? Like in my case, the books that I wrote, mostly autobiographical. So it's my experiences. So, I talked about the guys who hurt me, diba? Na parang, sinaktan niyo ako, pinagkakitaan ko kayo, diba? Parang, ganun lang. Yung quote of the day. Kasi may pera sa heartache, diba? Parang, okay, instead na umiyak-iyak ako at damdamin ko yung ginawa mo sa akin, isulat na lang kita para pagkakitaan kita. Naging bestseller pa, diba? So, parang it's your truth eh. It's your experiences. Ito yung nangyari sa'yo. Sana kung ayaw nilang magsulat, kung may fear ka, if you want to write autobiography or non-fiction, at may fear ka na, paano pag nagalit sila na sinulat ko to, diba? Sana kung ayaw mong isulat mo sila ng masama, tinrato ka nilang mabuti. Diba? Sana hindi ka nila sinaktan para hindi ka magsulat tungkol sa pananakit nila sa'yo. Ganun lang. So, yung courage to tell the truth, nasa sa'yo yun. Na parang ako, like, hindi na ako nabasa ko nga, sabi ko kay Pam, nabasa ko yung book niya noong 2011 na nakita nung ginamit ng nanay niya yung vibrator niya. Na parang, ang tapang naman ng babaeng to, na sinabi niya talaga na nagva-vibrate, gumagamit siya ng vibrator. Parang, tsaka may isang author din na nabasa ko, nagsulat siya na namolest siya nung bata siya. Parang, I admire these authors na kaya nilang i-expose yung ganon. Kasi ako hanggang dun na ako sa level na iniwan ako, pinagpalit ako. Feeling ko parang nakahubad na ako pag nakikita ko ng mga tao kasi alam nila yung kwento ng buhay ko. But then, nasa sayo yun eh. If that story doesn't hurt you anymore, if that experience doesn't affect you anymore, then you're healed. Kaya mo na siyang ikwento sa buong mundo at kaya mo na sabihin, ito yung nangyari sa akin, ito yung natutunan ko at ito ako dahil sa nangyaring to. So, yun. Thank you.
It's also, tama eh, it really comes from within. Pero hindi din siya automatic. Lalo na pag bagong writer ka pa lang, pag hinahanap mo pa lang yung voice mo, nakakatakot yun eh. That's the perfect word. You're exposed. You're exposing yourself. And may repercussions yan. In the ideal world, madalas kong pinapangarap yan, na sana yung living self ko, hiwalay yung writer self ko, nasa parallel universe siya, na walang consequences. Tapos pwede ko isulat lahat ng gusto ko isulat tungkol sa lahat ng tao sa paligid ko nang walang mangyayari after. At may Facebook friends pa akong matitira, di ba? Pero hindi eh. So, I'll give you an example of how, and siguro kasi as a person, I really can be stupidly brave, na parang I would do things and say things without thinking the consequences through. I'll give you a very specific example. A few years ago, I wanted to do a story on spanking kasi hindi ko maintindihan bakit yung generation ko, karamihan naman kami pinalo. Ba't ngayon? Sobrang bawal na mamalo ng bata, di ba? Iba ba yung puwet namin sa puwet nila? Parang mas fragile na ba yung mga bata ngayon? Kasi it's so weird. Like before, tanongin mo yung friends mo, mas weird pa nga pag di ka pinapalo, di ba? So sabi ko sa boss ko, masyado pang ambitious yung ano ko. Like, I want to do like a comparative, like, were you hit as a child? As a parent, are you hitting? As in, gusto ko may charts, may mga infographics, ganyan. Yung boss ko, no. Why don't you write about being spanked? Mas madali yun di ba? Parang wala na research. O sige na nga, okay, fine, that's what she wanted. So sinulat ko, and I really, honestly thought I was being funny. Na sinulat ko na hindi ako nakapasok nung grade 2 kasi sinampal ako nung nanay ko, tapos the next day, nandiyan pa rin yung kamay niya. So, hindi ako nakapasok, tapos yung excuse letter ko, she fell off a chair. Ewan ko anong klaseng chair yun na may kamay, pero, ganyan. So, sinulat ko in a way na akala ko talaga nakakatawa. Kasi wala naman akong grudge against my parents for hitting me. Kasi it was so normal for us. Tapos yung last line ko pa na akala ko rin was being funny. Maybe when I have kids too, I'll hit them. Oh my God, hindi ko in-expect yung shitstorm that hit my office. After, unang-una, may letter ako from UNICEF. Ay, tama, na parang potential child abuser, parang ganon. Tapos si Cara David nagpunta sa office para interviewin ako for a segment for GMA News. Basta mga ganon. Pero yung worst part was yung nanay ko, nagka-amnesia. Hindi daw na ginawa lahat ng sinulat ko. Hindi talaga. At yung mga friends niya, bagong kilala lang niya, nagka-campaign at tumatawag sa office ko para kausapin yung boss ko para sabihin na hindi totoong pinalo ako ng nanay ko. Eh yung friends niya na to, na-meet niya lang mga 5 years ago. So malamang wala sila doon sa room ng bata ako, di ba? So parang ako, na-realize ko, okay, you can be brave. At saka for weeks and weeks, sobrang daming letters non-stop from readers na pinalo ng magulang, mga readers na hindi na mamalo ng anak, mga readers na hindi pa rin makaget over na pinalo ng basta hindi ko siya in-expect. And it just stemmed from me telling my truth na I was one of the kids na spanked. And it was such a normal thing. I didn't expect yung ganong result. But then again, in a way, it's beautiful because when you speak the truth, it causes people to start talking. And there was discussion about punishment and ganyan. So, but yeah, sometimes it's easy to forget na whatever you say nga has an impact. Pero, I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing. Pero ultimately, for me, why is it not scary to tell the truth? Kasi parang mas nakakatakot not to. I feel like mas kaya ko i-face yung consequences of telling the truth. Mas nakakatakot if you are so afraid of the truth na you will just make stuff up. So, yeah.
Thank you po. Any more questions? Yes.
Hello po, ako po si Mitzi. Malaki po yung interest ko sa philosophy and psychology. Tapos normally, nahahanap po kasi yung mga concepts na to, like, for example, philosophical ideas like morality, justice, ano pa ba, ethics, love. Normally, nahahanap po siya sa highlight. And, like for example, yung Game of Thrones, etc. And, yung dichotomies between highlight and lowlit, andun talaga yung ano yung challenge sa readers and writers, sa writers mismo. Yung question ko, how well do we know our young readers? For example, mga teenagers like 13, 14, siguro hanggang 18 or young adults. Paano natin ma-find yung common ground? Do we know our millennials well na to write such concepts like love, for example? Ang kasi yung parang aim ko dito is to write those kind of concepts in a way na makakatulong sa kanila into their daily situations. For example, yung mga kunyari they're in a tight situation and this philosophical concept would help them. Alam mo yung medyo high topics talaga na paano mo talaga siya ma-reach to to those audience, to that kind of audience. So,
Thank you for your question. Anyone?
Diba? Ayaw bitawan yung mic. No, because it's part of my job to understand millennials because I handle the sections that cater to the younger markets in our office. So, buong buhay ko sa newspaper, it's really been focused on writing for younger people. Pero, I also feel that it's important when you're writing not to worry about pleasing every single person who may possibly pick up your book or whatever it is that you're planning on writing. Malaloka ka. Hindi ka makatatapos if you're gonna worry about that. One important thing would be feeling millennial ka naman, di ba? Oo. So just i-limit mo muna yung sarili mo to looking at the people around you. Especially since you're writing for the same age group. That's perfect. Because you already know what you guys are into, how you guys think. Also, even if you're saying you're writing about topics that may not be as easy to understand, one thing that you should never do as a writer is underestimate your audience. They will know if you are underestimating them and are talking down to them, and readers don't like that. Nobody wants to feel na whoever is writing this, and when you're reading it, feeling ng writer, tanga ako. You don't want them to ever feel that. And the beautiful thing about language is, again, I loved what you said about not using highfalutin words because even the most complex of concepts can be explained using simple words. Forget the multisyllabic words. Huwag mo na gamitin yon. And remember what you said, na nakikita mo siya in Game of Thrones. Use that. Use pop culture references to explain complex ideas to them. Which is a great, yun palang is a selling point actually. Like, yun palang, using complex philosophical idea, using pop culture as a way to explain philosophical concepts. Yun palang, libro na yun eh. So, do that. And then lalo na because you are writing for, essentially you are your target market, then you know the language that you guys speak, you know how you guys communicate. So use that. Malaking part din kasi ng buhay as a writer is observation skills, whether it is observing things that you're writing, but even the way you respond to, like, look at the books that you read, look at how you want writers to be writing for you, and then apply that. Pero the fact na you are your target market is already a big thing. You shouldn't be worried na every single millennial would like your book. Isipin mo na lang, kasi that part is daunting. Isipin mo na lang na yung group of friends mo pa lang. write for them. Plus, the pop culture thing will always be a hit, and automatic yan, kung Game of Thrones fan, they would be interested in it, whether they're into philosophy or not. So,
Thank you, Ms. Pam. We have time for one last question.
Hello, my name is Jean. So this question is more of like asking for tips and insight from the panel. I know everyone and most of us have jobs or work. So how do you find time to write your experiences and your stories, given the fact that it's such a busy day for you? And how come you didn't forget all the details of your stories at the end of the day? Yes.
Thank you. One of the panelists can answer.
Naging writer ako dahil sa nagbablog ako. Just like Pam, binabasa ko nga yung blog niya dati. Siguro mga 12 to 10 years ago, diba, ganon. So, sorry po sa mga dati kong boss, pero during office hours, dahil may free internet at bored ako sa work, natapos ko naman yung ginagawa ko. Or pag hindi mo gusto yung sinusulat mo or ano, nagbablog ako. Sumisingit ako. Or during lunch break, nagsusulat ako. Kung ano-ano lang, tungkol sa lunch ko, tungkol sa it can be as simple as your commute from work or malalim na nagmi-midlife crisis ka na or nagka-quarter life crisis ka na, yung ganon. Ganon lang, sulat ka lang ng sulat. Just like me, blog lang ako ng blog noong time na yon. And sa mga, kaya ako naging author dahil sa mga blog entries ko na sabi ko nga noong time na nag-submit ako ng manuscript sa Anvil, sino ba ako? Hindi ako artista, hindi ako DJ, hindi ako celebrity, pero nabigyan ako ng chance dahil sa mga sinulat ko ng blog. So, how do you find time? Kung gusto mo talagang magsulat, kahit stuck ka sa traffic habang nag-aantay ka, meron akong journal. I think lahat naman may journal, maliit. Nagsusulat ka. Kahit nasa coffee shop ka, umu-order ka ng kape, may maririnig ka na quotable quote nung nasa kabilang pila, isulat mo siya, tapos gagawan mo siya, ganun lang naman maging observant ka lang. Sinasabing wala tayong time, hindi. Kung talagang, ang totoong writer, he finds time para magsulat. Kahit tissue yan, marami akong entries na galing sa tissue paper or kahit sa ano yan, gagawa ka. At how do you remember all the details? I think if it matters to you, maaalala mo talaga kahit siguro mabagok ka or madapa ka, maaalala mo pa rin yung nangyari. So, ang tip lang, kung gusto mo talagang magsulat ka everyday. Kahit 2 lines, 3 lines, parang gano'n, nahahasa mo siya. So, ganun lang.
hahabol lang ako doon sa how do you remember, take notes all the time. Tapos ito yung best part na naka-smartphones na tayo ngayon. Pag nag-eavesdrop ka, akala nila nagte-text ka lang, pero sinasulat mo na pala lahat ng sinasabi nila. It's perfect. Plus yun, notes talaga forever. Ang dami ko pang hindi nasusulat na dapat kong isulat, na nakaipon lang sa notes sa phone ko. Tapos sa notebook, take notes. Tsaka huwag may pressure na every time uupo ka to write, kailangan isa siyang buong piece. It can be a few lines. Pero importante nga, kasi muscle yung writing. Develop it. Do it every day. Because the more you do it, people always ask, how do you become a better writer? You can only become a better writer by writing. As in, you just have to write and write and write and write and write. Yun talaga.
Actually, you will never find the time. Hindi hahanap si time. You will have to create the time. You have to make time, create it. Kasi kung hinahanap mo lang siya, hindi mo talaga siya nakikita. So kung gusto mo talaga yung gawin, ako nga, I take a shower. Ewan ko ba pagbasa ako, lumalabas sa mga ideas. Diba? Ewan ko ba? I don't know why, but when I'm taking a shower, bigla ko may maiisip na idea. And then yun na nga, kasi meron na nga tayong mga telepono, usually paglabas ko, kailangan pagkatuyo ko, isusulat ko na yon kahit na konting phrase lang. Kasi ang na-realize ko in the past, lagi kong nagre-rely that I will remember. 53 na nga pala ako, I always forget. So when there's an idea that comes to you, write it down. Kaya ka nga writer Diba? Hindi ka rememberer. Writer ka. So don't remember, write it. Diba? Write it. And then when you write something, don't be too attached to your own writing. Ako kasi minsan na parang, ay, ang ganda. Wag, di ba? Pag nagagandahan ka na, may igaganda pa to. Parang okay na tong word na to, pero parang hindi pa. And actually ako, napansin ko, those that I've written, rewritten, and na-check ko, yun ang mas nag-enjoy akong basahin. But you also have to know when to stop. Okay na, tama na. Diba? Kasi minsan you don't know when to stop as a writer. Diba? Parang feel mo, ariba ka ng ariba. Minsan hinog na, kunin mo na lang, wag mo nang lamutakin. Kasi diba, mabubulok na yun. Diba? And yung wisdom to know when it is that you have to sit down and write that discipline, or when to say, oops, trabahong tamad to. Kailangan alam nyo yun sa sarili ninyo. Diba? Kasi hindi yung sasabihin ng iba, minsan mahihiya sila, mabuti kung laging editor ang katabi mo. Diba? Kailangan you have to be your own critic as well. Huwag kayo masyadong bilib sa inyong mga sarili. Hello, diba? Baka kayo lang ang masaya, masturbation na naman yan. Diba? So, ako, importante yun, and really right. Even ako, wala pa ako nung ganong klaseng disiplina, yung araw-araw upo ko para magsulat. How I wish, no? And then ako, when you write, yung parang mahalaga rin na, ewan ko ba, because there are 2 articles I wrote. One was like, Friendster pang uso. And then yung ngayon, parang, ang weird kasi iba yung, well, pareho yung storya. Somehow yung sinulat ko noon, kasi nire-write ko ngayon, iba yung pagtingin ko. I guess kasi noon parang baruba lang ako magsulat, pero ngayon parang ang dami ko nang iniisip. Kasi paano kung mabasa nung, kasi syempre mas marami may kakilala sa akin yun kaysa noon, nadagdagan ng 100. Ngayon mas madami na, mas kailangan kong maging mas maingat. Kasi yung storya ko, makwento ko lang, kasi di ba babae ako, usually ang babae sa kultura natin tayong nililigawan. Sabi ko, paano kung puro tsaka ang lalaki, tapos sila lang ang manliligaw, di I will be left kung sino manligaw sa akin, kung tsaka lahat. Ay ko, bakit hindi ako pwedeng manligaw? So I decided one day, kasi mayroon akong kaibigan, na best friend ko galing ng abroad, tumira sa akin, na-inlove ako sa kanya. Na-inlove ako, pero feeling ko hindi niya ako type. Although, syempre, pagka-inlove ka, naglalaro sa isip mo, paano kung type pala niya ako na-develop na? But I had to answer my own questions. Diba? When something bothers you, you have to find the answer. So one fine day, total, sabi ko, matagal ka na nakatira sa akin, ako pa nagpapakain sa'yo, hindi ba, magastos rin to? Hindi ba? Sana naman may ROI sa loob-loob ko. Kung love mo rin ako, di okay, niligawan ko yan. Ginapang ko, promise. I mean, promise, truth yan. I have to write this someday. Ginapang ko yan. Umabot ako dun sa, in fact, 33 yun, na-virginize ako. At some point, natauhan si kuya. Natauhan siya. Sabi ko, oh my God, tumigil. Pakshit, kala ko ito na yon. The following morning, umupo siya sa kanto ng kwarto namin. Parang nakatalungko. Sabi niya ganyan, May, what happened to us? Meron pa pala akong dialogue nung gabi. Sabi ko, alam mo, hindi mo ako type. Nafe-feel ko yan, pero hindi naman ako mahirap mahalin. Pwede mo ba akong bigyan ng chance? Char! Kinabukasan, sabi sa akin, yun na nga, what happened to us? Sabi ko, I think you rejected me. Pero ako nun, ang nakakatuwa, ang feeling ko nun, okay na okay ako. It was so liberating. Yung ikaw na-decide sa kung ano ang gusto mo sa life. Because kung hindi ako nag-try hanggang ngayon, hindi ko pa rin siguro alam, baka nabigay ko na sa kanya ang mga kayamanan ko. Dahil ganun ako ma-indab, ubusan ng bank account, wala akong problema dyan. I will do that for love. But you have to love coming from knowing. Huwag naman yung ilusyonada ka na lang, 53 na ilusyon pa, diba? So in fact, I don't know what lessons you can draw from this, but I wrote that twice, and I was speaking from my truth both times. But in the second part, more responsible than the first, because nung sinusunod ko siya ngayon, somehow, meron na siyang mas caring, mas responsible na mas ganun. Kasi alam mong, baka babasa ng marami. But for both times, I was using my truth, and I can only come from the truth, at akin yung story yun. Hindi kayang nakawin ni Pam yun, tsaka ni Noreen. Tsura nila. Diba? That's mine. And I had to write it. So kayo, nag-iipon kayo ng mga story ng buhay nyo, and I'm sure ang gaganda. Pakapala lang ng narratives yan. Ipunin nyo na yan kasi pwede maging pera yan someday. Charot. And come, love what you do. Kasi iba talaga yung trabahong ginawa na may kasamang pag-ibig. Char!
Okay, thank you, panelists. We have one last question, before we proceed to book signing.
Magandang umaga sa inyo. Salamat, magaganda yung mga discussion nyo, ang pagsusulat nyo sa mga libro nyo. Ako ay retired na professor sa UP ng Mascom. Ako ay nagsusulat rin. But ang aking sinusulat ay iba. Serious writing ito, kagaya ito. Papakita ko lang sa inyo. Ito yung biography na serious writing na controversial na libro. Biography ni Gaddafi sa Libya. Ito naman, we printed 150,000 distributed around the world to. Kaya controversial ako. Hindi ako makapunta sa US. Yan. Ito naman yung libro, Journalism Handbook, printed by the National Bookstore. Yan. Madami pa dyan, ba't hindi ko nasasabihin? Question ko sa inyo. Ano ang pinakamasaya sa inyong buhay? At historic moment in your life? At saka yung frustration nyo as a writer? Yan lang.
Thank you, sir. Yes, short.
Historic moment, i-share ko lang, short sharing lang. In 2011, I almost died. Nagkaroon ako ng ruptured aneurysm, na ICU ako, comatose ako for 3 days. Tapos na ICU ako for 2 weeks kasi sumabog. Tapos inoperahan na ako. After, yung life-changing sa akin yun. Kasi before nun, sabi ko gusto kong maging writer, ay maging published author. Gusto kong ipunin lahat ng blogs ko at isubmit ko siya that time sa isang publisher na nagsasubmit ng mga blogs. So, before ako namatay, ay muntik na ako mamatayan ba yun? Knock on wood. Gusto ko pang mabuhay. Gusto ko pang magkaasa. Ang dami ko pa isusulat. So, nung muntikan na ako mamatay, parang naging wake-up call sa akin yun na what if namatay ako, edi hindi ko natupad yung wish ko, ay yung pangarap kong magsulat. So, ang ginawa ko, nag-submit ako ng manuscript. Una, nag-email ako sa mga publishing, di ko nababanggitin kung anong publishing company, dinedma nila ako. So I guess, ang frustration naman talaga ng lahat ng writers is yung kapag nare-reject ka. Sabi ko nga kanina, 3 beses ako nag-apply sa ABS, tsaka sa GMA, hindi nila ako tinanggap. That was years ago. Tapos yun nga, yung mga publication na nag-reject sa akin, ba't hindi ako tumigil? Kasi sabi ko, gagawa ako, i-compile ko lahat ng gawa ko, tapos kahit walang publisher na tumanggap nito, magsi-self-publish na lang ako. But then, mabait ang Diyos na awa sa akin, yung Anvil nung time na yun, naghahanap talaga sila ng writer na hindi malalim. Or, ang tawag nito, yung hindi malalim. Kasi di ba pag sinabing Anvil, yung mga pinapublish nila, mga ano di ba? So, I think, yung frustration, yung rejection na hindi ako nakuha, yung ginamit ko siya para magpursige pa. Kasi, lahat ng writer nare-reject. So, gaya nga nasabi ko kanina, hindi nila pwedeng sabihin kung anong klaseng writer ka kasi ikaw lang yun makakapagsabi nun sa sarili mo. And, ine-echo ko lang lahat ng sinasabi nila, we all have a stories to tell. At sino pa ba magkukwento ng kwentong yun, kundi ikaw lang din. So, yun po yung frustration tsaka historic na nangyari sa akin.
To the other, okay na po. Okay, so thank you again to our panelists. Thank you for everyone who asked their questions. Let's give them another round of applause.